It was past midnight when Daniel, a poor single dad, noticed the girl. She stood barefoot near the closed bus station, clutching a torn backpack, shivering in the cold. People passed her. Cars slowed, then sped away. Daniel hesitated. He had barely enough food for himself and his 6-year-old son. But when the girl looked up, her eyes were red from crying. "Are you lost?" he asked softly. She nodded. "I can't find my family." Daniel thought of his son asleep at home. Then he remembered what it felt like to be alone. "Come with me," he said. "Just for tonight." The girl hesitated, then took his hand. Daniel's apartment was small. One room, peeling walls, a broken heater. He made the girl a sandwich, the last bread he had. She ate slowly, like she hadn't eaten all day. His son woke up and stared. "Is she staying?" the boy whispered. "For tonight," Daniel said. The girl finally spoke. "My name is Emily." Before sleeping, she asked one strange question. "Will my father be angry with you?" Daniel smiled tiredly. No father would be angry at kindness. Outside, a black luxury car silently stopped at the corner of the street at sunrise. A loud knock shook the door. Daniel froze. The girl sat up, terrified. He opened the door. 2 bodyguards. A well-dressed man in his 50s stood behind them. His eyes locked on Emily. "There you are," the man said, his voice breaking. Then he turned to Daniel. "Do you know who you let into your home?" Daniel shook his head. The man took a breath. "I am Richard Hale, a billionaire." The girl ran into his arms. Daniel's heart sank. He thought he was in trouble. But the billionaire did something unexpected. He bowed his head. "You could have ignored her," Richard said quietly. "You could have called the police. You could have turned her away." He looked around the tiny room. "But instead you fed her, protected her, trusted her." He handed Daniel an envelope. Inside was a check that could change his life. But Daniel pushed it back. "I didn't help her for money," he said. "I helped her because she was scared." The billionaire smiled, tears in his eyes. "That," he said, "is why you deserve more than money." By the end of the week, Daniel had a new job, a new home, and a future he never imagined. All because he opened his door one night. A week later, Daniel stood in a glass office building he'd only seen on TV. Polished floors, silent elevators, people in suits who wouldn't have noticed him before. Richard Hale walked beside him. "You saved my daughter," the billionaire said. "I want to change your life." He slid a folder across the table. Inside, a 6-figure salary, a new apartment, full education support for Daniel's son. Daniel stared at the papers, then closed the folder. "There's something I need first," he said. Richard raised an eyebrow. "My son," Daniel continued. "He believes good people help others even when no one is watching. If I take this, I don't want it to be charity." The room fell silent. "I want to earn it." Richard leaned back slowly, then laughed. "That," he said, "is exactly what my company needs." He tore the contract in half and wrote a new one. Partner, not employee. As Daniel left the building, his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Dad, thank you for teaching me what a real man is." Daniel looked up at the sky. That night, he hadn't just saved a lost girl. He had saved his own future. Months passed. Daniel's life looked different now, but he stayed the same. Every morning, he still walked his son to school. Every evening, he volunteered at the same shelter near the old bus station. One rainy night, a man stopped him. "You're the one," the man said. "The girl, the billionaire, the stories everywhere." Daniel smiled politely. "Stories exaggerate." "But my brother saw you that night," the man continued. He said you were the only one who stopped. Daniel looked toward the street where it all began. I wasn't brave, he said quietly. I was just a father. The next day, Richard Hale announced a new foundation. Homes for lost children. Jobs for single parents. No interviews. No cameras. Just help. Reporters asked Daniel for a speech. He refused. Instead, he wrote one sentence on a whiteboard. Help someone when it costs you something. That sentence spread faster than the story. And somewhere another door opened. Another child was saved. Another future changed. Because one poor single dad once chose kindness. When no one was watching. Years later, Daniel's hair had threads of gray, but his eyes were the same. He was closing the community center one evening when he noticed a boy standing outside. Thin jacket, nervous hands, familiar fear. Daniel knelt. Are you lost? The boy nodded. Without hesitation, Daniel opened the door. Inside the center, photos lined the wall. Children helped, families reunited, lives rebuilt. One photo stood out. A little girl named Emily, smiling beside a younger Daniel. The boy looked at it. Is that you? Daniel smiled. Yes. Why did you help her? The boy asked. Daniel thought for a moment. Because one night, he said, I realized the world doesn't change when rich people give money. It changes when ordinary people choose kindness. The boy took a deep breath. I'm not scared anymore, he said. Outside, the city moved on, busy, unaware. But inside that open door, another life quietly began again. Daniel locked the door and looked back one last time. Not at the building, not at the photos, but at the idea that one small act can echo forever. He had no superpowers, no money that night, no plan, just a heart that refused to walk away. And maybe that's why this story found you today. Because somewhere right now, someone is standing alone, hoping one person will care. If the story moved you, if you believe kindness still matters, if you want more real stories that change how you see life, backhand index pointing right, subscribe to Rise and Inspire. Backhand index pointing right, like this video so this message reaches more hearts. Backhand index pointing right, share it with someone who needs hope today. Remember, you don't need to be rich to change a life. You just need to open the door. See you in the next story. This is Rise and Inspire. Glowing Star.